What is up, Sports Key to YouTube and KliqpodGaming Nation? As always, thank you for joining me, your boy JG, back with another episode of What Did We Learn from Tuesday Night Smackdown Live. First thing that we got to talk about, and damn, is my heart broken. We will not be seeing the man compete at Survivor Series, man. So today we unfortunately get the news that due to Nia Jax's punch to Becky Lynch's face, we will not be seeing Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series. I know a lot of you guys out there like me thought it may have very well been the match of the evening, and I know everybody's disappointed, but first thing I want to say, please do not do not blame Nia for everything. Accidents happen, guys. That's why this is the WWE. That's why we love it. That's why it's entertaining and these guys get paid a lot. Man, accidents happen. If you're going to blame Nia for that, then you can go ahead and blame Seth Rollins for giving the barricade bomb to Finn Balor and costing Finn a year of his career. The list goes on and on. So, in no way do I put all the blame on Nia. Unfortunately, these things happen, so but it is disappointing, man. It is extremely disappointing, man. Dang, man. After a phenomenal finish to Raw, I wanted to see the man on Smackdown tonight. We don't get that. I wanted to see the man on Survivor Series. I don't get that. To be honest with you guys, I was heartbroken when I heard the news. But luckily enough, I tuned to my main man, JD from NY206. Once again, if you guys ain't following him, if you guys ain't checking out his YouTube videos, what are you doing with this life? Man, if the Kliqpod's #1, this fool's 0 because he's the only podcast out there I think is better than ours, hands down. But with that being said, he brought up a great fact tonight, man, that this literally could be a blessing in disguise. What you possibly could do is strip Becky Lynch with this so she never loses her title, comes back at Royal Rumble, looks even more dominant, and progresses forward. I kind of like this idea. I don't think you should rush anything with Becky Lynch coming back. If you've had Alexa sitting out for this long with hers, you should do the same with Becky, because Becky is literally the hottest thing going right now. And all a little break for Becky's going to do is make us want to see her more. And I'll let you know, I'm already foaming at the mouth to see the return of the man because she is that damn good. Becky Lynch 316 says, I'm going to disarm you. Let's go, man. Oh, my God, she's so good. But with that said, guys, unfortunately, we're not going to get to see Becky versus Ronda. But hopefully we will see this in the future. But for right now, we just got to sit and wait. Which actually brings us to our next point, which is the replacement for her at Survivor Series is going to be Charlotte Flair. How does the WWE feel about this? That's what I want to really know. So for me, this isn't something that I'm excited to see, but I completely understand the replacement. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're not going to hear me bitch or complain about it. I understand. I get it. You need a quick replacement. What better replacement? I just think you cost yourself a lot of money, a lot of great storyline that could have been built up, because if you do decide to go back to this at WrestleMania, we've already seen it. So is anybody going to really want to see it that bad and be clamoring for it? But at the same time, you got to look at it as, since we wouldn't have seen Ronda and Becky now, what if we see it at Mania? How good would that be? Not only that, this is going to sound shitty, and I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, but I think this is a great idea. You hold off Becky and Ronda till Mania. You take the women's title, you unify them. Huge monumentous moment for both ladies. And by that time, I think Ronda would have had enough work that you could put her in some kind of a more suspenseful match. Maybe even, instead of doing some kind of cheap gimmick, like a TLC match or a steel cage match or something like that with these women, you could do something very simple, which I think would be entertaining as shit. And that's a submission match, because technically the disarmor is damn near like an armbar, just reversed. So, I mean, you could definitely do amazing things with this. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the WWE does as we progress further with Becky coming back. Now, back to the actual show itself. One of the top things we learned on tonight's show is Daniel Bryan just wants a reason to punch AJ Styles in the face. So we get AJ Styles coming out, pretty much confronting Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman for their comments on last night's Raw. With that being said, we get Paul Heyman showing up on Smackdown tonight, confronting AJ Styles. And with AJ Styles actually giving respect to Daniel Bryan, we see Daniel Bryan come out pissed and agitated and tell AJ if he says his name one more time for any reason, he's going to punch AJ in the face. So sure enough, what does AJ do? Slowly builds up to saying Daniel Bryan's name. This leads to Daniel Bryan putting the smackdown on AJ Styles. And lo and behold, this would actually build up to the main event of the evening. So we get a little break. We come back. We see AJ and Daniel steaming in the SmackDown locker room with Paige in the middle. AJ says he wants the title shot tonight. With Shane McMahon in the middle. He says he wants to give Daniel a title shot tonight. He just wants a piece of Daniel. And with that being said, after Daniel's actions to open the show, he gets a title shot, which will be our main event of the evening, which we will definitely break down a little further, because I'm going to tell you what I didn't like to the build-up of the match tonight. But with that being said, man, we continue on in the show. The next thing we learn is, where has CN Almas been? So tonight, we see a match between Jeff Hardy and CN Almas. And lo and behold, we don't know it yet, but it's actually going to determine who's going to be the fifth man on the SmackDown team. CN just keeps giving these amazing performances while in the ring. The thing is, he's not closing any of them out. So once again, in my mind, it's the same situation as Ember Moon. One of the best talents on your roster, and you're literally wasting it by him catching L's. And I know a lot of you guys are out there saying, this isn't going to hurt CN, this isn't going to hurt CN, but it does. The more continuously you lose, the more continuously you get pushed out of the people's eye, the less you're going to be worth when it comes to the stock, and if the WWE is ever going to really take an opportunity with you. And I know we hear reports left and right that Vince McMahon absolutely loves CN and Zelina. But he's not showing it with the representation of what we're seeing on the show. So that really hurts, man. So we see Jeff Hardy victorious in tonight's match versus CN, becoming the fifth member to Team SmackDown. But for me, what I took from it is, CN's just missing right now, missing in action. Please, somebody put up a wanted or put up a missing persons report. I need this man back, and I need him at the tip top of his game. I need the sharpness back. I understood him losing to AJ Styles, but everything that's progressed from there has been just a digression on him and his where he's going to get to in this company, because he is a superstar. So that really hurts me. Then we get a little promo from Shinsuke, which is weird, man. They should have been doing this when Shinsuke first came. Now he has a mysterious feel to him, but for me, it's just so late. You had so much going when he first came up from NXT. Now, I love that he's heel. I love what he's doing, but it's almost as if it's just too little too late. And with his contract coming up in the near future, will he even stay with the company? But we find out tonight, Shinsuke Nakamura is heartbroken because of Seth. So he talks about how Seth is so focused on everything but his match versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And for Shinsuke, all his focus has been on Seth. He eats, drinks, sleeps thinking about Seth. And with that being said, Could Seth have his eye in so many other places that Shinsuke really could come into Survivor Series and just close this thing out quick? I'm just saying, Seth isn't focused on the right things right now. He's got a big match against a real superstar ahead of him, but instead he's focused on his brother Dean Ambrose and every other damn thing on Raw. So we'll see how this plays out on Sunday, but for me, I don't think it's looking good. Things are looking good for Seth at all. Then we get a backstage segment with Team Smackdown. Miz talking about how he's fine with the addition of Jeff Hardy to the team. Pretty much picked it himself from the match he had watched. But he wants Rey Mysterio off the team. He says since Daniel Bryan's no longer on Team Smackdown, and this is due to him having a championship match later in the evening, which I will actually touch base on this specific theme as when we get there. But with Daniel Bryan being off the team, Miz doesn't want anything that reminds him of Daniel on the team. All the remnants need to go. And one of those things is Rey Mysterio. So this actually sets up to a match between Rey Mysterio and The Miz for Rey's spot. If Rey wins, he's on the team still. If Rey loses, he's off the team. After a semi-decent match, we see Rey Mysterio victorious over The Miz. But after the match, we see Randy Orton come and attempt to attack Rey Mysterio. He's unsuccessful tonight, but he does catch The Miz. But with that being said, could the Randy Orton storyline play over into Survivor Series? And could Randy Orton possibly be a reason that Team SmackDown loses? And how would that play out with Shane? Because you know Shane would be pissed. With how pissed he was at Daniel for attacking AJ tonight, man, if Randy cost Team SmackDown the Survivor Series match, I'd hate to be Randy Orton. But at the same time, it could just be trying to get vengeance on another McMahon. Then, man, crazily enough, we find out that the Bar, with the addition of the Big Show, is damn near unstoppable. So in a 6-man tag match, the New Day versus the Bar and the Big Show. I just want to call it the Big Bar. That's what we're going to call it from now on, the Big Bar. So it's the New Day versus the Big Bar. We see Big Punch drop that right hand on Kofi Kingston, knock him out, and get a clean 1-2-3 pinfall. Once again solidifying that the Bar, since the addition of the Big Show, has been so dominant, nobody could truly compete with this force, which is absolutely crazy, guys. And I honestly like it. I like it. I really like the addition of the Big Show to the Bar. And I wasn't a fan when they started this. So I want to see how this plays out. And I want to see how dominant these guys can remain. Then we see a quick addition to the rest of our members from Team Tag SmackDown, which will face Team Tag Raw. For those of you guys don't know, at Survivor Series, we will see a 10-man tag match. Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. It's so crazy to say. And we find out the last 6 members for Team SmackDown to go along with the Usos and the 2 members of the New Day are going to be the Good Brothers, Sanity, and the Colognes. So, crazily enough, I like the idea of this. I just want to see what it's like when we actually get to the match itself. Is this going to be a single, is this going to be eliminations? Now, I know it's going to be elimination style, but what I was wondering today is, are they going to do it as if one of your partners gets pinned, or both the tag team members eliminated? I think that would just make it a little more interesting, and you'd be keeping an eye on your own partner a little bit more than your tag team, and I think this could actually play out for great storylines to build off of moving forward. But being honest with you, I don't think WWE has that in mind. I think it's just going to be elimination. Once you're pinned, submitted, whatever it may be, you got to get out of here. So we will talk about that more as we get closer and closer to the prediction show. Now, this brings me to my final thing that we learned on tonight's Tuesday Night SmackDown Live, and that is For the second year in a row, the week of Survivor Series, we get a change to the main event. So last year, if you guys don't remember, we had Jinder Mahal as your champion going into the week of Survivor Series. Then we had the upset by AJ Styles at a house show to make him the champion to go on to face Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. So, would AJ be able to retain his title against Daniel Bryan and continue on to face Brock Lesnar? And the craziest thing is, no, we have a new WWE champion, Daniel Bryan himself. So in a grueling but phenomenal match with a lot of highlights, we will break down a little bit further in this week in the WWE. We get Daniel Bryan walking away victorious and your new WWE champion, which pits him to face Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series. And after the match, we see the heel turn of Daniel Bryan. He just grabs both of AJ Styles' arms and starts literally stomping on his face. This shit looks vicious. For me specifically, I think this was something to get AJ out of the picture for a little while. Maybe AJ has an injury we just don't quite know about. Or maybe this is to prolong and bring AJ back at a later point so we can continue to build on the Daniel Bryan AJ saga. But with that being said, I want to let you know why I'm not as excited as probably everybody else about this. First off, I seen a statistic today. Brock Lesnar was champ for what, 315 days? AJ was on day 311 right now. If AJ would have lasted till Survivor Series as the champ, he would have surpassed Brock Lesnar with that reign, which would have technically put him as the longest in the modern day era. So, we see that ixnay. That's one reason I didn't like the change tonight. Another reason is Smackdown sold me the ending before earlier in the show, and I knew when the main event was announced, we were going to see the title change. And that's because when we come back from one of the commercial breaks, Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton actually addressed the fact that Daniel Bryan won't be in the Survivor Series Raw vs. Smackdown match because of the title implication match tonight, which literally to me was a dead giveaway that he's winning the title tonight because you removed him from the match. What you should have done is we could have still had the whole show play out like it did. We get to Daniel Bryan winning the title, and before he has the heel turn where he just stomps out AJ Styles, you could have had it cut back to a backstage segment with Paige and The Miz, just those two alone, discussing, hey, now we can't, Paige lets Miz know Daniel Bryan will no longer be in the team now that he is the champion. He will be facing Brock Lesnar, so they could have put some validation on that match. But not only that, you could have had The Miz just be like, okay, so I was impressed by Jeff Hardy's performance earlier in the night. Boom, we're taking Jeff on the team. Then we cut back to Daniel Bryan, and then he comes off the celebration. He's almost leaving the ring, turns around, and then boom, we get the attack on AJ Styles. I thought it would have played out better. I thought it would have helped the storyline and not spoiled the ending to the show. So when I would have seen Daniel Bryan win the title tonight, I would have been more shocked. And it had more of an impact, kind of like Becky Lynch. What elevated the whole Becky Lynch scene last night on Monday Night Raw was her bleeding. If she wasn't bleeding, yes, she's still the man, and it's still an awesome segment. But it doesn't make it as intense. And with you giving away to me earlier in the night that pretty much Daniel's going to win the title by him not being in the match at Survivor Series, you kind of spoiled that one there. So, overall, the better show this week is Smackdown, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with Smackdown this week. We'll break it down a little further when we hit our what we learned this week video. But I got to say the better ending goes to Raw, and that's because of the man Becky Lynch herself. But with that being said, guys, as always, I cannot thank you enough staying tuned till the end of the video. If you're still here, please don't forget to check out what we learned in this week in the WWE and our Survivor Series prediction video coming out Wednesday or Thursday and Friday. Definitely give you guys a little more update and notification on when you can expect those over on Twitter. But with all that being said, let me stop rambling. Yes, a Madden video will be up this week at some point. Let's get back to the Madden grind. But as always, guys, take names, kick ass, and peace.